Thanks for watching. I'm Margot Kinberg, and this is In the Spotlight, a closer look at a crime novel. Past connections to present crimes can add a lot of richness to a crime novel. To look at that a little more closely, let's turn today's spotlight on L.J.M. Owen's The Great Divide. Detective Jake Hunter has recently come from Melbourne to the small town of Dunton, Tasmania. He's hoping this posting will be a quiet respite that will allow him to rethink himself as he's at a sort of turning point in his life. Doesn't work out that way, though. A week after Hunter arrives, a local boy finds the body of Ava O'Brien, an elderly woman who used to run a home for bad girls. As Hunter begins the investigation, he soon learns that this isn't going to be an easy case. For one thing, he's a bit of an outsider, so he's not privy to a lot of the local history and gossip, and they will prove to be important in this case. For another thing, not everyone is happy to have him asking too many questions about the victim and her history in town. Several of the people he interviews for this case are former residents of this home, and they have to deal with horrific memories, so it won't be easy to work with them. Still, Hunter and his team persist. And in the end, they find out the truth about this case and they uncover some very dark secrets. So, what holds this novel together? What are the elements we see in the novel? Well, as I say, it's got a past-present connection. So the murder of Ava O'Brien is one thread of the investigation, and finding out what happened in the past is another thread in the investigation, and that adds interest to the story. So does the look at the way the case is solved. Hunter doesn't do this by himself. He's not a maverick hero. He works with several people, and we get to see how they interact. Also, there's a small town atmosphere in Dunton and a solid sense of life in Tasmania, and those are woven through the novel. And there are things Hunter doesn't like about his posting, too. For instance, he has no electricity for the first week he's there. And he's very much accustomed to city life, so there's a lot to get used to in the way things are done in Dunton. That said, though, this isn't a case of the small town residents militating against the newcomer. Hunter isn't treated particularly badly, and he's not sabotaged by the police who are there already in Dunton. Not everyone is cooperative, but it's not because an outsider's here. Most of the story is told from Hunter's point of view, third-person past tense. So we learn some things about him. He has some darkness in his past, and he has to make some decisions about what to do as he moves on. Even at the end of the novel, he's not sure which direction he will take. Still, he's not the stereotypical demon-haunted, drunken detective who can't function. He's trying to do a good job in what turns out to be a very dark, sad case. And that sadness is woven through the novel. This isn't a light, happy novel, and things are not all right in the end. Horrible things happen in the home Ava O'Brien ran, and Owen doesn't minimize that. Still, there is a sense that people will survive and move on. There's also a sense of closure in that we know what happened and why it happened. The Great Divide is a police procedural that focuses on a small town trying to come to terms with some awful secrets from its past. So there's that past-present connection. It features a detective who's working to make the best of a difficult situation, and it shows how tragedy impacts people even years later. This has been In the Spotlight. I'm Margot Kinberg. Thanks for watching.